The Bible tells us of a man named Enoch. He was a man of great faith. Enoch lived in a time before the great flood. It was a time of wickedness and corruption. But Enoch chose a different path. He chose to walk with God. Enoch's life is a powerful example for us. He shows us that it is possible to live a life of faith. We can walk with God even in a dark and difficult world. Enoch's story is a story of hope. This is the story of Enoch, the man who walked with God. Genesis chapter 5, verses 22 to 24 tell us that Enoch walked with God for 300 years. Can you imagine that? 300 years of walking and talking with God. This tells us about the depth of Enoch's relationship with God. This walk wasn't just a physical walk, it was a spiritual walk. It was a life lived in constant communion with the divine. Enoch's life was characterized by obedience, righteousness, and devotion. Every day, Enoch sought God's presence. He listened to God's voice. He obeyed God's commands. This is what it means to walk with God. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5 tells us that Enoch pleased God. This is a remarkable statement. It tells us that Enoch's life was a testament to his faith. But what does it mean to please God? It means to live a life that is in alignment with his will. It means to trust in God's promises. Enoch's life was a shining example of faith. He believed in God, he trusted God, and he lived his life in a way that honored God. Enoch wasn't just a quiet man of faith. He was a figure who stood out in his time, a man whose life was marked by profound spiritual experiences and deep convictions. His faith was not a passive one, it was active, vibrant, and transformative. He was also a prophet. Enoch's role as a prophet was not merely a title, it was a calling that he embraced with all his heart. He felt a deep responsibility to convey the messages he received, to be a mouthpiece for divine wisdom and guidance. Jude chapter 1 verses 14 to 15 tell us that Enoch spoke out against the wickedness of his time. He was not afraid to confront the moral decay and spiritual apathy that surrounded him. His words were a clarion call to righteousness, a stark reminder of the consequences of straying from the path of virtue. He warned people about God's coming judgment. Enoch's warnings were not meant to instill fear, but to awaken a sense of urgency and accountability. He wanted people to understand that their actions had consequences and that divine justice was inevitable. But Enoch's message wasn't just one of judgment. He balanced his warnings with messages of compassion and hope. He understood that while it was important to address the wrongs, it was equally important to offer a path to redemption. It was also a message of hope. Enoch spoke of a future where righteousness would prevail, where the faithful would be rewarded, and where the presence of the divine would be felt in its fullness. His vision was not just of impending doom, but of a glorious future for those who chose to follow the path of righteousness. He proclaimed the coming of the Lord with his holy ones. This proclamation was a source of great inspiration and encouragement. It reminded people that they were not alone in their struggles, that divine help was on the way, and that their efforts to live righteously would not be in vain. He offered people a chance to turn from their wicked ways and seek God. Enoch's message was one of transformation and renewal. He believed in the power of repentance and the possibility of change. He urged people to look within, to recognize their faults, and to seek a closer relationship with the divine. Enoch's voice was a voice of truth in a world of darkness. His words cut through the confusion and moral ambiguity of his time, offering clarity and direction. He was a steadfast advocate for truth, never wavering in his commitment to speak what he believed was divinely inspired. He was a beacon of light in a time of great spiritual need. Enoch's life and message continue to resonate, reminding us of the enduring power of faith, the importance of moral integrity, and the hope that comes from a deep and abiding relationship with the divine. Section 5. Enoch in Jewish tradition. Enoch's story didn't end with the book of Genesis. His life and legacy have been cherished and explored in Jewish tradition for centuries. He is seen as a righteous man, a prophet, and a scribe of God's secrets. Jewish mystical traditions associate Enoch with profound wisdom and esoteric knowledge. The book of Enoch, although not part of the canonical Bible, provides further insights into Enoch's life and teachings according to Jewish tradition. It paints a vivid picture of his heavenly journeys, visions, and pronouncements. Section 6. The Christian understanding of Enoch. Enoch is a figure who holds a significant place in Christian theology and biblical history. His story, though brief in the scriptures, carries profound implications and lessons for believers. Enoch's story is also deeply meaningful for Christians. He is mentioned in the book of Genesis, where it is said that he walked with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. This enigmatic statement has intrigued theologians and believers for centuries. His walk with God serves as a model for Christian discipleship. Enoch's life exemplifies a deep personal relationship with the divine, one that is characterized by faith, obedience, and intimacy. Christians are encouraged to emulate this walk, striving to live in constant communion with God. His faith inspires us to live lives that are pleasing to God. Enoch's unwavering faith and his close relationship with God are seen as a testament to the power of living a life dedicated to spiritual growth and devotion. This serves as a powerful reminder for Christians to prioritize their spiritual journey. The writer of Hebrews points to Enoch as an example of someone who lived by faith. In Hebrews 11:5, it is written, "By faith Enoch was taken from this life, so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God." His life reminds us that we are to walk by faith, not by sight. This principle is central to Christian living, emphasizing trust in God's plan and guidance, even when the path is unclear. Enoch's story encourages believers to maintain their faith, regardless of life's uncertainties. Enoch's sudden disappearance from the earth, as described in the Bible, prefigures the Christian belief in the rapture. This event, where Enoch is taken up by God, is seen as a foreshadowing of the future event where believers will be caught up to meet the Lord in the air. It emphasizes the hope of the faithful being taken up to be with the Lord. This hope is a cornerstone of Christian eschatology, providing comfort and assurance to believers that their faith will ultimately lead to eternal life with God. Enoch's story, therefore, is not just a historical account, but a source of inspiration and hope for Christians today. If you find the story of Enoch inspiring, take a second to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us bring more content like this to you. Now let's continue. Section 7. Enoch in mystical and esoteric literature. Enoch's story has captivated the imaginations of mystics and esoteric thinkers across various cultures and time periods. He is often portrayed as a bridge between heaven and earth, a conduit of divine wisdom and hidden knowledge. In Gnostic and Kabbalistic texts, Enoch is associated with angelic realms, mystical ascents, and the transmission of secret doctrines. His life story, particularly his ascent to heaven, is seen as a symbol of spiritual transformation and the pursuit of enlightenment. Section 8. The mystery of Enoch's departure. The Bible tells us that Enoch walked with God and then he was no more because God took him. This mysterious statement has sparked wonder and speculation for centuries. What does it mean that God took Enoch? The Bible doesn't give us all the details, but it does tell us that Enoch didn't experience death in the same way that others do. He was taken by God. This suggests a special kind of divine favor and a transition to a realm beyond human comprehension. Section 9. A symbol of hope and faithfulness. Enoch's removal from the earth serves as a powerful symbol of hope for believers. It reminds us that God rewards faithfulness. Enoch's life was a testament to his unwavering faith and his dedication to walking with God. His departure signifies that those who live in faithful obedience to God can look forward to a glorious future with him. It strengthens the hope that through faith, we too might one day experience the fullness of God's presence. Section 10. The legacy of a faithful man. Though Enoch lived thousands of years ago, his story still speaks to us today. He challenges us to examine our own lives. Are we walking with God? Are we seeking his presence? Enoch's life teaches us that it is possible to live a life of faith in a fallen world. He shows us that God honors those who are faithful to him. His story is a beacon of light, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, God is with us. Section 11. Walking with God today. Imagine the serenity of a new day dawning, the calmness of a lake reflecting the first light of the sun. This is the beginning of our journey. Enoch's walk with God wasn't a one-time event. It was a continuous journey, a daily commitment to live in harmony with the divine. Picture yourself walking along an ancient path, each step bringing you closer to a deeper connection with God. It was a way of life. Enoch's walk was marked by moments of solitude and deep contemplation, where he sought to understand the mysteries of life and the universe. This is a practice we can adopt in our own lives, and it's a way of life that's available to us today. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we can still find moments to connect with God. Whether it's reading the Bible outdoors or holding it close to our hearts, these small acts can bring us closer to him. We may not walk for 300 years, but we can choose to walk with God every day. Just as the seasons change, our journey with God can evolve and grow, bringing new insights and deeper understanding. But we can choose to walk with God every day. Each step we take, whether through a tranquil forest or along a peaceful riverside, can be a step towards a closer relationship with him. We can seek his presence in prayer. In moments of quiet reflection, whether in an ancient church or a peaceful outdoor setting, we can open our hearts to God's presence. We can read his word. The Bible is a source of wisdom and guidance, offering us insights into how we can live our lives in a way that is pleasing to God. We can strive to live lives that are pleasing to him. Acts of kindness and service, like helping those in need or planting a tree, symbolize our commitment to living in harmony with God's will. Walking with God may not be easy. There will be challenges and obstacles like hiking up a steep trail or walking through stormy weather. But these difficulties can strengthen our faith and resolve, but it is always worth it. The sense of accomplishment and peace that comes from reaching the summit, from overcoming challenges, is a testament to the rewards of walking with God. Let us follow in the footsteps of Enoch. Just as footprints on a sandy beach mark the path of those who have walked before us, we can follow the path of faith laid out by Enoch. Let us be people of faith who walk with God. Together, as a community, we can support and encourage each other on this journey, walking in unity and faith. If you found this journey inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue walking together in faith.